Every story has an ending. Does our quest to play the top 100 courses in 10 years have a good ending? We're Nish and Chris, and we're your hosts guiding you through this golfing journey. This is the Top 110 Golf Podcast. Episode 9, Birds of a Feather. Not quite Linda Robson and Pauline Quirk, but it's a well-known saying that birds of a feather flock together. We've found somebody who's doing the same challenge of playing the top 100 courses in the UK and Ireland. So we're pleased to say that we've got him on for a chat. So let's just dive straight in. Hello, Alex.
Hello.
We'll do some quick introductions. I'm Nish, and obviously in the middle we've got Chris. Jim isn't with us today. He was going to come in, but all the trains have been cancelled from Manchester to Stockport.
Oh dear.
So right, he's just left the neighbourhood and moved to Manchester.
Oh really?
So
right.
There you go. Yeah. So obviously we've sent you some questions which are starting points to discuss, but you know I'll guarantee we're not going to stick to that. I much prefer a meandering road to a direct motorway. So well, let's start at the beginning then, Alex. What made you start up this challenge?
It was 2020, COVID. It was like deep lockdown, so probably like mid-April. And I think my mother-in-law had got me like a Golf Monthly thing previously, and I just kept all the magazines from skipping through it, and then saw Golf Top 100 UK and Ireland. I was like, okay, I'll have a look at that. And then looked at it and I was like, okay, like, I've never heard of half of these courses, but had played 4 of them. And I think that evening I called my grandpa, who's a big golfer, who got me into golf. One of our many evenings of talking about golf throughout lockdown. And he was like, yeah, I know that one, I know that one, I know that one. I was going through them. Anyway, I've got a funny old story about golf lists. And he basically went on to tell one of the best stories. And it was all about an old boy who had picked a list from like 1952 or something like that. And he left St Andrews at the old course as his last course he wanted to play. And he managed to get up to St Andrews, and he took his 2 boys with him. And these 2 boys told the general manager at the time that, you know, he'd done this list and this is the last course. And as the old boy was coming up 18, the whole of St Andrews that worked in Russex or worked in, I don't know where they were, they all came out and they all surrounded the 18th green and clapped him in. And I'm getting goosebumps thinking it now.
Wow.
And I was just like, do you know what?
Nice.
That sounds like the most magical thing. So I was like, I'm going to do it. So I said to him there and then, I was like, right, well, I'm picking 2020. Obviously, COVID was quite a big thing. My daughter at the time was going to be born in 2020. So she's still around when I say at the time, she's still here. But you know, at the time, we were expecting a baby. And I was like, I'll pick it. And it's honestly one of the best decisions I think I've ever made in my entire life doing it. It's amazing. So yeah, that was it.
Yeah.
Nice.
Oh wow! I mean, that's amazing, isn't it?
Yeah, it's brilliant. Interestingly, Alex, we had this discussion. Probably one of the first discussions we had actually was about St Andrews.
Yeah.
Where do we put it?
Yeah.
Do we start there? Do we slot it somewhere in the middle, or do we finish with it? Have you made a decision on where you're going to put St Andrews?
Yeah, I've got a big birthday next year.
Okay.
And for everyone out, I'm 40. So I thought, right, I'm going to pick St Andrews, and we're going to go up there and play. And I'm playing 2 different groups of boys and go away. So we spoke about it for the last 4 years that's where we're going to go. So we've booked it. We've booked the new course, which is on my list, and the castle course. And I want to play the old. So we've left space because you can only go through the ballot unless you want to spend, I think, upwards of like thousands upon thousands. And my brother used to work for Your Golf Travel, so he knows all about what we're trying to do.
Oh,
and he was just like,
okay.
mate, there's no way you're getting on. I've actually just sent a Hail Mary email to the reservations team, who have been really good, because I heard that there's a autumn committee that if you send in a letter, that they might they have a few select pre-books for the old, but if you don't do that, you're not getting on basically. If you do the ballot, but the ballot is nigh on impossible to guarantee. So let's wait and see.
Yeah.
So it might be next year when I get it, and I think that's where you should do the old. I think it should be a special occasion. The problem is with that is that there's no guarantee that you're actually going to play it when you want to play in a special occasion. But yeah, you just don't know. You don't know.
Yeah, you feel a bit. You feel like you should be a bit luckier if it's a big birthday or a big celebration, don't you? Feel like
100%.
should have more of a chance. Yeah.
You think so? I'm also like, I think since doing this journey, the more you speak about it, the more people you find that are doing it, or like people that want to help you. So I'm really lucky. There's actually in our village, there's a member of the RNA who has basically said, if you don't do that, I will help you and get you up there and play and take you to the RNA, the clubhouse, because I didn't know that St Andrews is like it's municipal golf course and it has different like members around it. So I've always got a way of doing something. So I will find a way. It might just not be next year.
If you're a student at St Andrews University, don't you get to do it? So if all else fails, you could just go and start a degree in St
Do you know
Andrews.
what? Someone else told me about that.
Play the long.
Yeah,
I'm pretty sure you
yeah.
can. I think on like a Tuesday or something, or a specific day of the week where they can go and play.
Yeah.
Why are you only just telling me that we should become students again? Why has this only come to light now?
It's such a funny one, isn't it, the St Andrews Old, because there's like other golf courses I've wanted to play or have played subsequently, and it's just something about the Old, mate, that I've just got to do it. I can't not do this list and not play it. And I want to do it in the most perfect scenario with the guys that I've sort of done a lot of this list with already. But if that doesn't happen, it'll have to happen another way.
So who is it you generally tend to play with then?
So I went. I grew up in Kent, moved to Surrey, then moved to London, and then moved to Hertfordshire. And when I was in Hertfordshire, I picked up golf again when I was just turning 30. It's a golf course called Porter's Park in Radlett, and it's lovely. And I met a group of boys there, and I'm just like the Pied Piper. Like they just basically go like, "Where we going now? We're going." So I organise a golf trip every year. Good golfers, and then off the back of that, one of my good friends that I know from back in Kent has also got another group of boys. So I've got two groups that I go away with, and one I'm in charge of the golf, the other one I gently persuade them where to potentially go and play.
Yeah, have you guys thought of playing this course?
No, no, it's a joke, and they just throw money at the problem as well, which is unfortunately which you guys will start to realise at some point you have to start doing that.
I think we realised that pretty quickly,
really?
I think, didn't we, Nish? Yeah.
Yeah.
In for the long haul, though.
That's
the
it.
long haul.
Yeah. I mean, have you at the moment? Obviously, you're nearly halfway through, which is tremendous in what 4 years.
Yeah.
Have you got a favourite course that you played so
I
far?
have, and it's always like a real hot topic of discussion. Basically, I'm a member of one that I think I've literally just come back from there this week, and I still think it's the best golf course I've played. It holds a lot of dear memory because of my grandpa, who I spoke about, got me into golf, and unfortunately not with us anymore. And I think there's definitely a part of that, and it's where I sort of semi-learned to play golf. But every time I go down there, I'm just in awe of it. And more and more, there's more validation from people in the golf world that keep talking about it that I think is like making my argument justified. So like Tom Doak, the big golf architect, he's done a whole video about it. It's a golf course called St Enodoc down in Cornwall. I can't really describe it. It's now, having played more links courses, it's like a toned down version of Turnberry. Because it's just a beautiful links, but then there's holes where it's like a Western Gales, like the second hole at St Enodoc is so difficult, and then I don't know, there's just so much magic about it. But the views are just incredible, and the golf course itself, it's a James Bray golf course. It's just incredible. I love it. It's still my number one for all the romantic reasons, but also golfing. Like I played with a mate, and I played a competition on Saturday. And it's just brutal. Like, it's beautifully brutal.
My wife's family used to holiday in Port Isaac every year, so we were always on Daymar Bay. So I wasn't really playing much golf at that point, but I was just kind of went for little walks up past St Enodoc and just looked looked at it kind of thinking, wow,
Yeah.
that's an incredible piece of links golf land.
Yeah. It's some
so
golf
yeah,
course.
I'm excited for that one.
Yeah, well,
Yeah, like
you
you say,
have a
absolutely
great time.
stunning surroundings. Yeah.
And there's so much history around it. And every time I go down, I find something else. So um, I was playing with an ex-committee member. He used to play for the England team. He's a lovely boy called Christian. And on the first hole, I've always looked at this big pole before you get up to the rise that looks over to the estuary. And I said to him, like, mate, why is that pole positioned there? Like, it's not even where you're supposed to be aiming. He looked at me and went, you don't aim at that. And I've been playing this golf course for like 30 years. He's like, you don't aim at that. That's like where the sheep used to scratch their ass back in the day, and they just left it there. Is that I mean? It's like little things like that you just. I don't know.
You've been like double bogeying it for 30 years,
I've been saying
aiming at the wrong place.
I don't know why people don't aim at that. Aim left of it. And he's like, yeah, you don't aim at it. You aim left of it. It's a sheep arse scratcher. So there's little things like that I love about. I'm still finding little bits and nuggets and stuff. It's great.
Oh, that's brilliant, isn't it? I think when you find a favourite course, I mean, just everything validates it all the time, doesn't it?
Mm.
Almost everything you do, you just go, nothing beats this.
Definitely.
And how good is it that you played 42, perhaps some of the best courses in the world, and you're still going back to that? That's brilliant.
Yeah, and it's I think you're right, because it can easily not be, and I've played enough. I'm starting to get not numb, but I'm definitely like it's now getting to a bit like I do my own list, right? So after every one, and all the boys huddle around like, where are you putting it? Where are you putting it? And I have to go through it, why it sits where it sits. And I'm meeting more people that do these lists and like maybe get a bit obsessed. And I definitely rate mine differently to other people. I think mine's more forgiving. I didn't really do. I love golf course architecture, and I love the history of golf and everything that golf is, like from just the camaraderie to the skill level. But there is a level that I won't even go to about bunker placements and just stuff that some of these boys that do these top hundreds just bore the pants off me doing. I just like they take it way too serious, and it's like panelists on this and like cool, like whatever, like whatever.
Yeah, that's it. Like you're there to enjoy it, aren't you? That's what we've said. We're just going to go and we're going to enjoy every single one of those courses. We're not going to sit there and pull it apart.
No, and you really
it's
think
not
you've
what it's
got
about,
to.
is it?
No, it's not at all. And I started this Instagram account partly because I was getting so much shit at work from people just being, "Oh, you're playing golf the whole time." So I started the Instagram account, and maybe people took the pic. I love the Guinness Guru because he came out through 2020. So I sort of semi-knit the name, saying the top golf 100 guru, whatever I call myself. And people started calling me that. I am not a guru about top 100s, but I definitely feel like I play golf to have fun, and I travel around to have fun. I can look at a golf course like you boys can and go, yeah, that's good, or that's bad, or that hole's amazing, or whatever. But at the end of the day, it's a game, and it's a sport, and it's a way to get people together. And it was just something I promised my grandpa I would do, and now it's become a bit of a life ambition, like it sounds like it has for you as well.
Yeah, after only 3 courses. It's brilliant, isn't it? It just seeps into
Go on then, what are your 3
quickly.
courses? What 3 have you done?
So we played Silith and Solway. That was Chris. That was Chris's
I'm a
favourite
Cumbrian,
course.
so that's where I grew up, and that's where I wasn't a member there, but I played quite a bit of golf there. So I wanted to take Nish there and play that. That was one that was close to my heart. So that was a great start. We had a beautiful day, and it was just absolutely perfect.
Nice.
Couldn't have written it any better.
It was a nice gentle introduction to links golf. I'd played, fortunate enough to be invited to Birkdale a couple of times. I made a member there.
Nice.
But aside from Birkdale, I'd never played any other links courses at all.
Wow,
so
okay.
Chris has gone, let's go up to Cumbria, let's go up to the coast with Scotland and let's go and play links golf there. I was like, oh God.
That's great.
What's going to happen here? But we honestly hit it, and the weather was 25 degrees. There was not a drop of wind or a cloud in the sky.
You still shot 100?
Oh yeah,
still
easy.
play shit golf, yeah.
we were both absolutely dog shit, but it's like it really didn't matter because it was like the weather's glorious. We've had a great 2.5 hour drive up.
Yeah.
Chris did the driving, obviously, but it was just everything was great. It was like it's the start of the journey, it's the start of the challenge. It kind of filled us with enthusiasm
Yeah, I
right at the
bet.
start, isn't it?
Yeah. So are you based in London then, Alex? Are you doing all your travel from London?
No, actually, do you know what? Like maybe the world and the universe was telling me to do something. So we just before lockdown happened, my wife is from Northamptonshire. So she
Okay.
when you were having a baby, wanted to get out of St Albans, and like trying to justify living in St Albans in Hertfordshire with the prices of houses and everything. It's just a joke. So we looked up
Yeah.
here and I was like, nah, not doing it. It's too far from London, too far from my family. I've got to travel into London every day. And then obviously COVID happened and I regretted it every single day I was in lockdown. I just would have had more space. So I think when the day that they let you go and look at places, I was like, right, let's get up. We looked at like 7 houses and we've ended up in a beautiful village. And I'm now a member of, there's only like one really good golf course in Northamptonshire. Luckily, it's like a open qualifying venue and everything's good. So it's Northamptonshire County Golf Club. So I've joined there. But
Nice.
I'm now that much further up that actually getting anywhere is not too bad. So like driving to Scotland, I'm an hour and a half ahead of everyone else. And it does mean coming from Kent, when we talk about going to Kent and it's 3.5 hours to St George's, I'm like, that seems mental. But I think there's more golf courses up north. And I've done Surrey because I lived in Surrey for a bit. So I feel like, yeah, I'm well positioned to take on the world of golf courses.
Yeah, I think you kind of. I think you. I sort of obviously went through your feeding pictures that you'd taken,
Yeah.
and I think you've covered that kind of around Wentworth area
Yeah.
quite well, haven't you? I
Mhm.
think that's been done. Yeah.
I've got New Zealand is the last course in Surrey that I've got to play on my list.
All right.
So
Nice.
yes, I'm finishing Surrey in December, which is it's cool. It's like it's a little a little thing ticked off, and then I've only got one more round.
Milestone.
Yeah, and then there's only one more round the M25, which is the Berkshire Blue, and then I'm out. I'm done. I've done everything around the M25.
Nice.
Yeah, mic drop.
Yeah,
Done.
done.
Stuff.
How many counties are there in Britain? How many others have you got to work through?
50
odd.
You know what? It's not England's not an issue. It's
no.
It's Scotland.
Scotland and Ireland.
Ireland, I was so lucky that my best mate's the guy we go away. It's called the Rigid Mug. We go away on. He moved to Dublin in 2020, so we've been over there quite a bit, and he's now moved to New York. So I've lost that, but we've got another mate of ours. So yeah, I've done quite a few of the island ones, which I'm really lucky. And I think there's a question you guys asked, which is like any advice. Is like, yeah, just need luck basically to complete this.
Yeah, maximize all your luck that you can.
But it's amazing. You say luck, but I mean, it's amazing since we started this how many just little connections that we've had. So I think we've probably got maybe 10, maybe 12 courses that we've got where just through kind of friends or friends of friends, we've got someone who's a member who will take us on somewhere. So it's incredible how quickly those connections kind of open up. So it's, you were saying earlier, it's like a little community, isn't it? Like golf just kind of brings people together, and it's a nice little way to do it, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely, 100%.
For sure.
What do your immediate family? I know you got a wife and 2 kids.
Yes, that's right. Yeah.
What do they think of it?
Rachel's really supportive of it. I think she knew when she married me that she was marrying a golfer, and she's actually said that to me, and I was like, I hadn't thought of that. Like, that's an amazing way to like. So anyone out there, you just need to make sure you play golf before you do it. But yeah, she's amazing. I think she understands, like with work, like what a switch off golf is.
Yeah.
So that's good. And I'm from a family of golfers. Like my grandpa taught me. My Granny was a lady captain. My uncle was a big member of Hankley Common. My brother's just joined Lip Hook. My other brother plays. So like we're a big golfing family. So I think that helps. That does help with the whole thing because you can just go and knock about with whoever. And I've moved into a village in Northamptonshire. Didn't know, that many people other than my best mate who lived there. And he introduced me to another fellow in the village who's now become another of my best mates, and he plays everywhere I play. So as I say, I'm like the Pied Piper of like top 100 golf courses, I think.
I mean, I'm feeling like there's a bit of a new segment we might be able to bring there, Chris. We call it live tips or something, and I think any guy getting into a relationship should just tell their other half they're a golfer, regardless of whether they are or not. They can have 5 hours on a Saturday.
So weirdly, obviously I was a golfer when I was younger and hadn't played for decades. But Lucy said to me the other day, she was like, "Do you know what? I'm really glad you're getting back into golf." I was like, "I can see you really enjoying it." I was like, "Perfect, I like that."
And our two girls are young, so I've been really lucky to play 40 of these. Well, just shy of 40 because I've done the four before. But Rachel's been really supportive of it. So yeah, but everyone loves it, and I think it's interesting now. I don't talk about it openly. Like every now and again, I'll talk about it like someone else, but I'm being introduced to people now at the golf club as like, oh, this is Alex. He does top hundreds and he's got an Instagram account. So now there's people that follow my golf account that don't even know what I do for a living or like my personal life. They just follow that, which is quite cool.
I had a quick look at your Instagram followers before, and one of them was Zane Scotland. I've not heard of that name for like 20 years, but he was like, so when I was playing, he was like one of the best amateurs in the country.
Yeah.
But then I've literally not heard of him for 20 years. What happened to him? I
don't know. It's a really weird one with Zane. Like he started following me, and I assumed it was for a reason, and it absolutely wasn't. I think he followed me just because of like maybe come up as like share friends. But the funny story with Zane is that my mum was doubles partner with his dad at a golf club, and I said that to him. I was like, "Oh, Bernie," his dad's called Bernie. I was like, "Oh, Bernie used to play with my mum," and he's like, "Cool, man." Nothing like yeah, I knew that. He's just like, "Cool." I was like, "All right, sweet."
Fair enough.
I feel like I need to meet this guy. He's so chilled out.
Yeah, he is. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. You sort of you mentioned obviously your family's involved in it a little bit, aren't they? I mean, you've got two girls. Are they showing any interest in playing golf?
I think they will. One's definitely into football, but I grew up within a golf course, right, and a golf club, and I truly believe that it's the best environment for a young girl or boy to grow up. Like just the way you converse with adults as a 12-year-old or an 8-year-old, and the discipline that it teaches you, and the etiquette it teaches you, and and the social skills probably more than anything. I just think it's the best. I think it's the best game, best sport in the world. I'm a massive football fan, so like that's hard saying that. But whereas, yeah, the prices of playing golf is becoming a little bit extortionate for a working man's game, which it was. I still think that the entry for juniors is better now than it was when I was a junior. So I think I will, try and get the girls into the golf club, and I'll actively try and help with that because I think it's the best environment for them to grow up.
Yeah, I mean, I think I learned so many life skills. I think growing up, we say in and around a golf club, it's stuff that stays with you forever, isn't it? For sure.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I'm gonna. These are the hard hitting issues now, Alex. We're getting into the interview. Like, what's been your favourite halfway hut so far?
It's a difficult. When you play more, it's difficult to like lock it down. So Can I say I've got four for four different reasons?
Yeah, some memorable ones is absolutely fine. Yeah, I wouldn't pin you down to just one of them.
So Turnberry is number one on my list, and that is definitely like in terms of the situation where it's situated and what it is the best halfway hut. It's the ninth off the back of the ninth to the lighthouse. It's amazing. The only problem is the gin and tonic, 16 quid. I won't have to with that.
Whoa.
How many did you have?
I didn't pick up the bill, but I still think that was taking a bit. And
it's
then
the definition of taking advantage of a captive audience. That isn't
100%. And then Sunningdale Old. There's that famous hole, the 10th, which plays down, and you see all the bunkers. At the end of that, you've got an amazing halfway hut, and I love the simplicity of it. I went with a mate of mine who's a member, and what I wanted, I think, is like a common order. So they basically just do sausages, and they just give you a sausage on a plate, and then that's it. And I wanted an old school Lucozade, like the red, like the one when you were ill when you were younger. I wanted that.
Yeah,
I was like really hot, and I wanted some energy. And he was like, "Yeah, that's a normal order. What people will get." So for that, I thought that was cool. And then Royal Liverpool St Anne's, I like. There's a woman that works in there, and I've played it twice, and both times she's just been quite like, "Well, you're slow. You're supposed to be finished 8." I liked her attitude. And then she's like, "What are you ordering, boys?" And I was like, "I don't know. I might have a Bovril. Are you having sherry in it?" And I was like, "A Bovril with sherry in it?" And she's like, "Yeah."
What?
I know, and I had it, and it was really nice. So I think they're my three. Swinley Forest is wicked because Swinley Forest is like the most amazing golf course and golf club because it's just like the complete opposite of everything you think it is. Like everyone member is like an admiral or whatever, but they don't. They only had a scorecard since 1992. They only play one competition a year. You can't get it on your WHS, your World Handicap System, and you don't get your wallet out until the end. So you come in, they know you, and I love the halfway hut because when you get to halfway hut, and they go, "Oh, hello, Mr. Catter, how are you?" I was like, "Yeah, I'm cool." I was like, "I have this and that." And I was like, "How much is that?" And they were like, "No, you don't pay. You don't pay now." I was like, "Okay." And you pay at the end. I don't know, there's something quite old school about that I really liked.
Yeah, I like the difference between the north. I like the difference between the north and the south ones. In the north, you get, "Hurry up! Would you like some sherry in your Bovril?"
Yeah, that's it.
Down south, you're like, "Hello, sir."
I know, and we're like quite fast players. I was a bit like, really, like, yeah. So yeah, there you go.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna get nailed at Lytham, aren't I? I think I'm notoriously slow.
No, really, right? Okay.
Maybe I'll pick a day when she's not on.
Yeah. You've been there both times, mate.
Yeah, that's it. That's funny, isn't it? Yeah, I mean, on the straw poll of 3, I suppose that we've done. I think SNA got for us, didn't it, Chris?
Oh, I haven't played that. I really want to play there.
Yeah, that was the most recent one that we played. Like, yeah, I mean, I can definitely see why that's one that the purists absolutely love.
Yeah,
that course. Yeah,
it's difficult.
It was good. I mean, I loved it. I did look. Like, I had the best front 9 of my life, I think, playing there, and then I got too big for my own boots, and then right royally fucked it up.
Yeah, that sounds like golf, mate.
Yeah, that was it. Yeah, golfing gods biting back. I think.
Amazing.
I think it was. It was like I got to the halfway out, and I was like, I'm on for a score here. I think I could do all right.
No way.
No, I've got other ideas for you, mate. Got other ideas for you. So we had sort of a bit of an interesting welcome at SNA. So we were talking about before we jumped on with you, Alex. It was frosty, I think, was our welcome at SNA. But early in the morning, everybody's allowed to have a bad day and all that sort of stuff. Please don't name any names if you don't want to. But has there been any way you've got to and you've gone, oh, okay, that wasn't quite what I was expecting? Have you always kind of been all right?
It's a hard one, isn't it? I think because I feel like I'm always a glass half full sort of guy anyway. I'm always looking for the good in a review. So when I review courses, like I openly want to look for the positives. But there was one golf course. The welcome was so bad, like bad. I mean, like rude enough that I was like, should we just turn around and walk out? And got past the bad, basically an old boy who, and as you say, he might have been having a bad day or whatever, but it was a Saturday, so it was not like it was, I don't know. And then it was just as bad when we got into the clubhouse, and it's the only course I've played where it affected not only me, it affected the other boys in the group. And we played a lot of golf courses, and the guys that I was playing with, one of them's gone to university in America. He's played golf. He's played all around the world. He's been a county champion. He's played some courses and he's caddied for Beef for years. So he's been around, and he was like, "That is one of the worst welcomes I've ever had at a golf club." And I'm going to say it because I think it's important they know it. And it's Ganton.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Which the reason why it's interesting because everyone else has the most amazing time. So that's why I basically just be like, it must have just been a bad day for the bloke that we met, and also subsequently the bar staff we met. So I mean, maybe their general manager had a massive go at them that morning. Something must have happened.
Yeah, it could be.
Because so many of them loved it, and everyone speaks so highly of it. And it's a great golf course, don't get me wrong, but I just couldn't get past it. And I think that shows you when you're on this journey, you're spending your hard-earned cash and your time. At the time, I was away from my family, and you think, No, you can't do that. And if they don't want visitors, then don't allow visitors. Is my opinion.
Yeah, it's interesting, isn't it? Because it's almost the good and the bad of golf all kind of wrapped up in one, isn't it? You do have some of those experiences occasionally, but yeah, usually the good far outweighs the bad experiences that you have. I think, generally speaking.
Yeah, but that's the only one.
To be fair, with it, even within SNA, it was. I mean, we had a very, very short, curt interaction right at the start, and then after that, everyone was brilliant.
Yeah.
But yeah, immediately you just like you tense up a little bit, don't you? You go, hang on a minute, are we welcome here? Like, what's going to happen? Does that mean everybody else is going to be like that?
And do you know what it was?
Yeah,
It was to do with shoes.
You're kidding?
No, that's what it was. That was what it was. It was.
Oh, mate.
It was to do with shoes, and two of the guys had. I suppose you could class them as trainers, but you know those trainers that don't look like trainers, like smart, like comfortable shoes. Like I get it if you're wearing like Nike Air Max. Like I've done Nike Air Max before and thought I'm not gonna get away with this, and some courses don't care. But it was that, and I was just like, I don't know what this is about. I thought we'd gone past that as a society and everything. Like,
and, well,
you know,
and golf. You think golf's moved on from? Like, it doesn't help itself sometimes, does it? But yeah, just God, trainers. God, I think they'll have a field day with me. Yeah, any kind of Nike or Adidas doesn't look like a golf shoe. I'm having it.
Oh, really? Right. Okay. Yeah, I'm a bit of a ponce when it comes to golf shoes, so I never. I'm all right with those, but it's just you got to. I mean, what does a bloke? I don't wear like loafers, so I wouldn't wear a pair of loafers. Like, and I don't want to wear a pair of. I mean, I don't know. Like, I don't go to work in a suit, so I have like Clark's Wallabies and like desert boots. Like, I don't know what. And they don't look that smart either. So sometimes a pair of smart trainers looks better than that, but I don't know. Maybe I need to buy one pair of golf like Hubble shoes that I just wear.
Your Ganton shoes.
My Ganton shoes. There you go. Yeah.
There you go. There's a shoe range sorted out. I think straight up. Yeah, I mean it's interesting because you guys obviously you played golf a very good chunk of your lives and as juniors and been around a lot of good clubs and you know I started playing when I was 19, then gave it up after uni because you start drinking and going out and doing whatever, you know, you don't want to play golf necessarily, and then retook it up, you know, post-COVID, much as yourself, Alex. But yeah, I find that kind of stuff when you read up on the website and you go, well, you know, there's this, you get this stuff out about the dress code and whatever, and I see through it now a little bit. I get it because they're trying to get people to self-filter a little bit, aren't they? You know, but there's also a bit where you're like, that can be quite intimidating for somebody, you know. And it's like, I mean, we played at Moortown, and it was like, if there's an event on, you need to have a jacket on,
right,
in the clubhouse. And I was like, all right, well, is there one on? And they're like, not at the moment, but like, so I mean, what do we do? Do we bring a jacket? Do we not? Like, what do we do?
Yeah.
Actually, they were great. There was an event on, and they had no problem in sitting and having a club sandwich, Chris's favourite, in the nice Ryder Cup lounge. It was great. But yeah, it's a bit like, oh God, what kind of place am I going into here now?
Totally.
Judged about every little thing.
It is intimidating for, you know, I think me and my grandpa had a big conversation about this, like about the barrier to entry for golf, you know, for the everyday man in golf clubs now. I think if you went round though, I think you'd see more golf clubs that are like lax like their rules than maybe they had before. The first thing I always do when we go somewhere is look at what the, you know, dress code is on the golf course and internally. Even though I know I always dress smart and always like would adhere to them, but just don't know. I think especially the open venues, I think you've got to be a bit careful. Like one of our guys turned up in shorts in the Royal Lytham, and he got politely asked to go put his trousers on.
Oh really? No shorts.
He did look like a scruffy urchin, so I sort of didn't. You know, we gave him shit. It was like, who the fuck turns up at an open venue in fucking shorts? But that's the only other time where we've actually seen something. Most of so you're fair. There you go, mate. Yeah, just don't do that in Lytham. I think you can go to certain bits. Just not other bits.
Yeah, I'm gonna have fun in Lytham, you know. I really am. My pace of play and my shorts are gonna
Oh yeah, I'm not painting a good picture.
cause a
I,
problem.
I played it twice, and both times absolutely loved my time there. By the way, and she's wicked. I don't know what her name is, but the woman at the clubhouse, she's wicked. Halfway up,
Oh, no,
she's wicked.
I love stuff like that. I love having a bit of
Yeah,
repartee with people like
100%.
that. It's great, isn't it? Yeah. Oh, it's fantastic. That I love it. Yeah. Um, it might be a bit. This is one question I had to send you in advance because otherwise, if you catch somebody on the hop with this, you can't answer it.
Yeah,
But have you got a hole that really stuck out? And perhaps, I mean, I appreciate how you feel about your home course there,
yeah,
Rob, but perhaps one that's not your home course. Is there a hole that you just thought, oh yeah,
yeah,
that one's
definitely.
that's got.
There's been a few. There's one we went to Ireland earlier this year. Went to Donegal and played Rosapenna Sandy Hills, and I actually can't remember what the name is, but I saw a guy online posting a picture about it, and he took 3 separate pictures, and I was like, yeah, that was a good hole. But I think the number one hole for me so far has been at Prestwick, and the reason for it being Prestwick is like where the Open started. Um, it's like so amazing, and we had an amazing day, and we had a caddy that was incredible. But the 17th hole at Prestwick is the oldest golf hole in the Open history, and
Ah.
with no alterations, nothing. And I think for that, and for the way I played it, I think I that's my number one. And we had a guy called Chris McBride who I don't know if you follow the Links Diary. It's worthwhile doing it. Like these amazing magazines they release like every quarter or like maybe like 3 a year. And they did a whole YouTube like short film about this guy, and I was like, if I ever play Prestwick, I've got to have this guy caddy for me. And he's an interesting fellow, let's say that, and he's definitely walked those, and he's got so many stories. On the 17th, he was like, right, I want a driver here. I won't do Scottish accent. I was like, okay. And I hadn't listened to him 3 holes before, and he shook his head, and I was like, right, I'm listening to you now. And he said, put it here, and I nailed it. There he went, okay. And then we got everyone else is everywhere else. I went, right, where are we going, Chris? And it's a blind shot. You can't see. It's just like basically like 4 different posts, different colours. And I was like, why are they different colours? He's like, pin placement on the green. I was like, okay, cool. Where are we going today? He went, that one. I went, right. And I nailed this 4-iron. Absolutely nailed it.
Brilliant.
And he went, oh, do I like that golf shot? I just started walking up the fairway. And I was like, oh, I've nailed it. And I'm expecting to be on like close to the pin. As I get up there, I reckon I must have hit the bank of the bunker, and I'm about like this far away from the green, maybe 8 foot to the pin. I've 3-putted and got a bogey, and I was so gutted. That's so me as well. Like to like nail 2 shots, get there, putt is one of the strongest parts of my game with 3-putt. So yeah, 17th at Prestwick.
Nice. Interesting talking about caddies. How many courses have you done where you've hired a caddy?
2.
2. Okay.
And one of them was, and one was at Prestwick, and you have to have one. We went to Valderrama in September, just gone, and you had to have one out there. And we got really lucky because they weren't good caddies. Like everyone was complaining about them. And I sort of, again, maybe there's a life lesson for all golfers out there. Caddies are really easy. If you just make sure you know they're going to get paid and you give them some more money, they're going to look after you. So it took about 4 holes to figure out that Manuel was talking in yards and I was talking I was talking yards, he was talking in meters. So that was a struggle. And then I just put my arm in and I was like, Manuel, there's a lot of potatoes on this, mate. Come on, we've got to go. He went, money? I went, yeah. He went, okay. And then from that moment, he was amazing for me. Oh, right. So, yeah.
Right.
So you need to get paid.
So we need to up the budget for our caddy fund then.
Do you know what, actually? Because you think about a caddy and you go, God, that's expensive. It really is not expensive. And I think if you go to a golf course where like there's a load of history or a golf course with a load of blind holes, just as a group of 4s, get a 4 caddy because they look after all 4 of you, and it's like 20 quid each, and then your tip on top. It's nothing.
Yeah. And I bet you probably
wow,
learn
that's
more
really good
about,
tip.
like you say, the stories and stuff, the stuff around the golf course. You know, the other stuff rather than just the golf stuff as well. I imagine you learn quite a lot.
Yeah, like
from them.
Manuel out in Valderrama, I'm like, what would Sebi do? And he goes, Sebi do it. So I was like, right, okay, fine. And then it's just like little things, and I don't know. And then Chris at Presswick was just telling us stories all the way, and it really did make
Was that
it.
your
Yeah.
Was that your Scottish accent you just
That
tried
was actually
there?
Spanish, mate.
Yeah, well, yeah, because we read a few places that you can, get caddies, but yeah, that's a great tip actually. Yeah, between the four of you to,
It's nothing. Like it's really worth doing. I think, and you'll tip again. Like if you double what I think most caddies like between 60 and 70, maybe 80 quid. Maybe they are 80 quid. And then I was like, oh, what do you tip on top? They're like, make it 100. And I thought that was really, again, 25 quid. I think if you give a caddy 25 quid, you probably get slapped. So always put a little bit on top. But like, even if it's 40 quid, if you get on as a guest rate, you know, you're walking away, like, it's not much money. And they do add value, like they do.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, like I say, if you played a load of blind tee shots and things, you just got no idea where you're going.
No.
Right.
And not everywhere has them. Like Lenadoc, I don't think has caddies. No, they're not everywhere, but they're in Scotland. Where the Yanks go, you'll see caddies.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How was Rossapenna? That's part of the reason that we started doing this thing, because I was up in Donegal and we were camping just like 5 minutes away from Rossapenna, and I'd never heard of it. I was like, what is this place? And there's these two incredible golf courses there in the middle of nowhere.
I know.
But how was that? How was that experience playing there?
That was amazing. I think that trip. Well, I was looking forward to it. Don't get me wrong, like, it looked like a really good trip anyway. But I think that was the best trip we've ever been on in terms of like expectation. I expected a lot, and everything was great. I don't think St Patrick's is a very good golf course, and I know that's going to be really controversial. But there's another guy that I follow online who had exactly the same opinion. Tom Doakes basically made a golf course for the Americans, and it's just massive wide fairways. When I was hungover at Presswick, and just about got away with it. At Rossapenna, I was completely hanging out my arse. Like, I didn't think I could hit a golf ball, and I think I hit like pretty much every fairway, and that's because they were so big, and I don't think that should happen. The pin placements are also really weird. Look, it's only just opened, so it's got a load of maturing to do, but I didn't think it was very good. Sandy Hills on the other side was that completely took me by surprise. I think it's like number 88 on my list. So I was like, okay, it'll be good. Won't be that good. That went into all of our top fives. It was that good. It was amazing.
Really?
Yeah, it was so good. And then there's another course on there, the old Tom Links. So there's actually 3 courses there now. So if you want to go with a group of boys, you go there, stay there, or you can stay down the road. And there's the Harbour Inn, which is the best pub one of the best pubs I've been in. And I've also got a pub list that I do as well. So like, I'm obsessed.
Nice.
I'm obsessed with lists.
That sounds way better. Let's talk about that instead.
They're pretty much all London pubs, so it's a bit difficult. But that's quality. That's a hell of a trip to go on. Really good.
Yeah, nice. Yeah, looking forward to that.
I think that we haven't obviously we've just I was just letting you know, I suppose, Alex, but in March we just booked like a double header. We're playing Royal St David's and Abu Dhabi together because they're quite close by. So we're just taking the families and
amazing.
Kristen's wife, she works for Robinson's Brewery, so I think they got a pub there that we can
great.
Get a bit of a cheap.
Nice.
But I'm excited about that. The trips away, like it's a bit of it's not just a drive up in the morning.
Yeah, because everything we've done in
evening,
days so far, haven't we? Just day trips. So
yeah. Day trips are difficult. I think when I first started doing it, I was so obsessed with ticking off courses that I was almost like trying to like plan stuff for day trips. And there's just something special and magical about when you do them like as a trip. And also, like I think you know, if you're trying to do them quick, and 10 years is quick, boys. By the way, like you've got to do them in. You've got to do them in chunks.
Cut him off.
You've got to do them in chunks. You have to tick off like at least 3 a trip. What list are you using?
We're using the top 100, so that not this. The other one, yeah. Basically.
Okay.
I don't. I've not actually compared the two, to be honest, in terms of the differences on there.
I think when I first started, I think that list was Pony, and I think since then they've done so much work on it as a website, and I think I listened to a podcast about the new general manager came in, and now it's like it's proper. Like you can't. I now use that as my. I can't even get my list anymore. It's like expired. Like you can't even find it online. It's just as well I saved it in a spreadsheet.
Yeah.
And
there's always got to be a spreadsheet.
Yeah, it's got to be a spreadsheet, and I think, but I think it's really good now. And I think there's so many people that use it that I wouldn't be surprised if that's now like the pinnacle one. And I know there's a lot of boys that use that as their thing. So yeah.
Yeah, you gotta pick one, haven't you, and just go right. That's the one that's the list that we're going with.
Yeah, because there'll be courses on my list. Like there's one called Moray Old course up in Scotland that isn't on any other list. So there's probably a couple others that are the same, and I think that's good. Like I like the fact that I've got a one that no one else cares about, and on my Instagram account, I've only two outside of my list so far that I've reviewed was St Patrick's, because I felt like everyone's talking about it. It's going to be in the top 100 at some point. You've got to, and then the only other one is Valderrama, and I think the Valderrama one is the start of me now trying to complete the world top 100.
Really?
Nice.
Well, because you don't realise that how many of the UK and Ireland ones are in the top 100. So
they're in it anyway, yeah.
So I think I've done like 20 something already. I'm like,
I was going to say,
yeah. So you might as well do it. You might as well do it. And for that, I'm using the top 100 list for that.
Yeah.
I mean, I think why not? I think
the States feels pretty difficult for that top 100 world list though. A lot of elite clubs there that are tricky to get into, so that's an extra level of challenge, I would imagine.
Yeah, there's another level. Like we went out to New York and played an amazing golf course called Bally's, and it used to be a trump course. How that's not in the list, I don't know, because it was unbelievable. The best greens I've ever been on. It's unbelievable. Should be for the money it costs as well. And then one of the boys, we were a 3-ball. They put a boy with us, and we were going around and just talking to him. It's like, "Oh, where you a member, mate?" And he was like, "Oh, yeah." It's so hard to be a member of a golf course in America. So I think my mate asked, assuming him to go, "Oh, you can't." And he's like, "Yeah, I'm a member of Maidstone, and Maidstone's where I grew up in Kent. But Maidstone golf course in New Hampshire, in the Hamptons, is a very different place than Maidstone in Kent. And that is like you can't get on there. Like there's no way you're getting on there. So to be a member, and I think that's the problem with America. It's almost impossible. If you're trying to do a list, it's impossible. But I have got an invite to Augusta, so that's the only one that I'm going to.
Have you?
Yeah, I'm going to hold it to the day it actually comes off. I've got a golf towel upstairs. I've lost a post-it note with the invite, so that's a bit of a bone of contention. But yeah.
What?
How? It's literally.
Are you an ex-president?
Yeah, basically, yeah.
You're an ex-president of the US.
That's it. Yeah, me and Kamala like that. Almost 10 years ago. So I do a lot of work out in America, and I went out to Los Angeles, and I had a band at the time. I still got them, but I had a band that everyone was trying to sign, and I got basically put into a meeting with like the top guy at an agency called CAA, and they're like, "You got 15 minutes with this guy called Rob." I was like, "Cool." Went in, and as soon as I walked in, I knew we were in business because there was like lanyards everywhere of like Prince and like Rolling Stones and everyone that he'd been to. But then everywhere else was just golf everywhere. Like when I'm talking about everywhere, like this guy's office was just like the Hollywood Hills and then golf. I was like, okay, we're going to be fine in here. 15 minutes, I'll nail this. And it took 2 minutes to start. Basically, didn't talk about work. We just spoke about golf, the rest of it. Yeah. And at the end of the meeting, he pulled me over. He's like, and who's that? And I was like, it was a picture of a guy getting a green jacket. And I was like, I don't know, mate. I've got no idea. He went, that's me. I was like, why are you getting a green jacket? He's like, I'm a member. I was like, you are fucking shitting me.
Wow.
Anyway, so I was like, wow, that's amazing. Like my mind was just like, it's like you. It was like, that's incredible. Anyway, walked out of the meeting. Thank you very much. That evening, I got a knock on the door, room service. I was like, I haven't ordered any room service or anything. Door opens, and there's a guy just passed me a green Masters towel, which I still got upstairs. The post-it. I won't name the band. They're like, when your band play Atlanta, we're playing Augusta. I was like, fuck, that's amazing.
That's
you know what? For like the next 4 or 5 years, he emailed me or I emailed him. I think I emailed him like 2 years ago as well. But for the next 4 years, every time the Masters on, he'd email me and say, I'm at Augusta. I think this guy's going to win it, and I go back and say, I think, because I said I do a lot of betting on golf. He'd email me for the next 4 or 5 years, every time that he was there, and I was just like, wow, this is amazing.
That's quality.
So yeah, it will never come off. But I'm in my head, I still think I'm going to get on it.
It's there. You're there.
You can't uninvite someone.
Absolutely,
yeah, exactly. It's just rude. That's the height of rudeness.
Yeah.
I'm gonna put your Insta feed on like top notifications on my phone for every post now, because one day you're gonna have that picture, the house.
Just rolling around in the azaleas.
Yeah. Do you know what? I don't think you're allowed to take pictures on it.
You're not allowed to take.
No, but
you're not allowed to do that.
I think you're allowed to take pictures of Azalea Drive, whatever it's called, the main drive. So I think if you see that, it's come good.
That's it.
Yeah.
Done. Yeah. Oh man, that's just amazing, isn't it?
Yeah.
That's our old friend Mackenzie chap.
That's it. Yeah, Alistair Mackenzie. Yeah, amazing.
Yeah,
architect,
legend.
Yeah, legend in our own lifetime, I suppose. But my golf stories don't compare to that, Alex. I'm afraid.
Sorry, mate.
But I can only say that the golf course that I'm a member of was also designed by Alistair Mackenzie.
Can I try and guess who that is? It's not Alwoodley, is it?
Not Alwoodley, no. It's near Manchester, obviously, because that's where we are. Any thoughts? Reddish Vale. Reddish Vale.
Amazing.
But that's another course. That's my home course, and I love it. I've 4 years I've been a member there, and I've just never got bored of it. It's a full-on. Every hole is risk reward.
Is it?
So you can just totally play it according to how the weather's going, how you're feeling. If you're hurting out there, it's gonna keep biting you, isn't it? That course, but it's not long, but just. You walk off it sometimes, you're absolutely beaten up by it.
Amazing. Do they get like the Alistair Mackenzie, like the crews that go around trying to play them all? Like, do you get like reciprocal?
So there's like a Mackenzie Trail.
That's it. Yeah.
It's like one of there's 10 courses or something that are quite nearby that everyone tries to play. But
he died no money, didn't he? He was an absolute pot to piss in when he died, unfortunately.
Oh,
so he's become. I think he's like a bit like Eva Cassidy. He's become bigger since he's died than he was
since he's died. Yeah. I mean, great course designer. I mean, that's
unbelievable. Yeah.
A couple of holes that he designed there. It was just like this is brilliant.
Yeah.
Like I think that jump to that third at Sillis has just jumped into our out of 3. Jumped to the top hole we played so far.
Such a beautiful hole.
I haven't played Sillis. Is that's the one that's on the league? Yeah. So it's on the way up to Scotland. A lot of people play it, right?
Yeah. So I mean, I grew up in Cumbria, but I grew up in sort of South Cumbria, and even for us getting to Sillis, it's an absolute nightmare. It is in the middle of nowhere.
Is it?
It's a real trek to get there, but it's definitely worth it.
Right.
Real treat.
Worth it. You'll love it when you get there. Like I said, for you as well, it'll be an absolute mission for you to get there. But it's a beautiful spot.
To be honest, Alex, if you're passing, I at the risk of bumping off another course to play this within 10 years, I'd love to play Silith again, because I feel like now I know the terrain a little bit more, I might be able to do myself a bit more justice.
No, 100%. Just let me know, I'm there.
Yeah, it was a cracking course. Like, you stood up on, I think it's the 5th tee or something, and like across the bay you can see Scotland. Wow. And then you look over and you see the rest of the Lake District, and it's like, this is just a stunning. I don't even care I'm playing. This is a stunning place to play golf.
Amazing.
Totally
so good.
Makes sense. Yeah, and just actually wasn't. My scores card would suggest otherwise, but it wasn't an impossible course to play.
That's totally playable. Well. Yeah, it is.
Yeah. I think a lot of them are. It's just,
like
especially like linked courses. Is like St Ended the other day. It was so gettable because the wind was down, and I just think linked courses, like when the wind's up, that's the biggest defense is that. And then when you play like a raw rhythm, not only is it the wind, it's so flat, raw rhythm. Like you basically, you're going up there expecting to see something incredible, and it's so flat. It's like, that's one thing when I started doing this list, I think I was so like, early on I played so many like dynamic golf courses, I was expecting everything to be that. And the more you get into lists, you realise how like the subtleties are what you're looking for. But Lytham, not only is it the wind, it's the amount of fucking bunkers. And
bunkers, yeah.
And it's not just the bunkers you can get out. I feel like I'm a pretty good bunker player. You're like, okay, that's lob wedge out. Even on a fairway bunker, like it's lob wedge out. It's so penal. So I think that those links courses, it's not only the bunker, but it's the wind is the biggest thing. So if the wind's down, like they're really gettable.
Yeah.
It's I mean, I was expecting that in SNA actually, because they've got this. I mean, their website's unbelievable. Like they've got these like drone flyovers, basically covering every inch of the course. And I was like, we did a preview pod, and I was like, oh man, I mean, I've got a pretty shaky bunker technique. I was like, this is gonna get nailed, I think. But I played so well, I didn't really hit any of them. I think I only hit 2, didn't I? The whole round, but they were everywhere. And again, that sort of thing is, I bet if you start hitting 1 or 2, then it's just your balls just a magnet to those.
I've always got my shorts on. I'm always in the fucking bunker. Like it's just me and bunkers just seem to get on. Especially ones that are right at anything that's right at the fairway or right at the green. That's my bad shot, and I always miss it and always go there. Yeah, always.
Yeah, what a great game we played.
I know. I don't know why
what a great game we played. I think the only reason we do it is because you can end up playing it in some absolutely stunning places, and where some of the greats have trodden as well. I mean, that I do geek out on that a little bit actually, and I have been doing that in the reviews, previews, and things like that. I love it, knowing that Walter Hagen and people like that have played at a course before is just that's just heaven for me, And a lot of the courses, it seems like a lot of them haven't really changed that much.
No.
A little bit of remodeling here and there, but certainly places like, like Moortown, SNA places like that might be a bit different because they've had maybe perhaps more prestige tournaments, but and they've had to lengthen. But Moortown just felt like that's just what was designed. And
is that the first Ryder Cup? Is that 1927? Is that
first Ryder Cup? Yeah. Well, we're following them around at the minute, aren't we? We did Moortown, SNA. What was the next one on there?
Yeah, I think they were sequential, weren't they? Those 2. I think they were.
Yeah, it was Moortown, and then SNA had 2, and then Ganton had one as well.
Probably.
After, and then I think we were struggling after that. It was Wentworth, I think, after that, after Ganton. So that'll probably stop our sequence. Wentworth will put a little end to that. I mean, it's for your mental health. It's just one of the best things you can ever do.
I don't think I haven't found anything that's as good as it. And you could have magic days with your kids, and you can have magic days at work and other stuff. But I don't think there's anything else. I don't know about you, but like I can't watch a film and I have to pick up my phone. And even this, like phone's there, but I'm not touching it. But it's like you're aware of other stuff going on. And I think golf is the only thing that you put your phone in your bag, and very rarely do I get it out. So I think it's really good mindfulness.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I mean, we made a rule really early on. Like, we're just not going to film on course. We'll take a few snaps here and there, but so I just enjoy that 4.5 hours of time with that challenge that's been laid out, 120 years ago.
100%, and also like
go and experience it.
And I've obviously I take photos because to document that I've been there. But my photos are crap, like compared to like what like some people can do. The only video that I do, and it almost came home on a trip to Spain recently, was I video every par 3, just because I'm convinced that I'm going to capture a hole in one on a par 3.
Yeah.
And the fuckers didn't record me on the 17th at the Solomon Cup Finca Courtesin, and my mate put it to about that, and I went past him. I turned away, and everyone started yelping because it spun back and lit the hole, and almost shaved the hole. That's the only time I had. I was like, right, boys, that is it. New rule: you have to video me every single time I do a par 3.
Absolutely. Because if it happens, you'd be absolutely wounded.
Can you imagine?
Yeah. Oh, man. I mean, that might just beat my ace at the par 3 course at Adlington.
Oh really, mate? I've never had an ace, so you beat me anyway.
Mate, it's questionable, to be honest. It was a little par 3 practice surprised. It's a legit course.
Yeah, we
It's a
take the
legit
kids like a little
course.
academy course. We take the kids, don't we?
Yeah, it's about 90 yards, isn't it? Clip this
Well, it was
ball. I thought
70
it
yards, I
fallen
think,
off the
Nish.
green.
But yeah.
Whoa. I think we need adjudication
Yeah,
on
no.
this. I genuinely thought the ball had rolled off the back of the green. I mean, I wear glasses and I really can't see anything. And Chris was like, no, I think that's gone in, mate.
But yeah,
like,
you also did it with a ball with a picture with your face on the side of it, which was pretty
That's
nice.
amazing.
Yeah, just to go look at the hole and then you just got your own face looking back at you. Okay, that's pretty
cool.
good. Yeah. Wonderful. Chris, is there anything else you'd like to?
I don't think so. No, that's brilliant. Thanks for your time, Alex. Really
No,
interesting.
I've monopolised the questions enough. Then I've basically just taken over the questioning.
I think you've done it all, right?
I think actually that was one thing I did want to ask you. Just I noticed on one of your posts you played a I can't remember the name of the course, but you said this is one of the courses where I definitely think the rankings have got it wrong. I can't believe this isn't in the top 20.
Yeah.
I think you said.
Yeah.
I mean, what have been your thoughts on the rankings? Because you played a good chunk now. 42 is a good chunk. Do you think they're being pitched right?
No, I think it's like anything, mate. Unfortunately, there are powers that be that have to allow certain courses to be certain areas. And I do think the London club or the London proximity dominates a lot of that. And I also think golf courses that have held a prestigious tournament or something like Walton Heath for me, I just could not work out why it was so high. With the M25 just like roaring behind, and that's not Walton Heath's course. That's just like the state of where we're at, right? Is that like things happen like that?
Yeah.
And then so that one I didn't really get. And the other two, Sandy Hills, Rossapena I think might have been that post that I said like I can't believe it's not higher. And I think maybe that's because it was only built in 2004, so that might be a reason. And the other one is Pennard, which is like, unfortunately for you boys, it's like the opposite end of Wales for you. So you're up the north, aren't you? And this one's down near Swansea. I turned up. There's this golf game online that through COVID I got really heavily into. I still play now, and people started doing like it's called LIDAR data. I don't know if you ever heard of it. It's like ordnance survey sort of. Basically, the computer measures the terrain, and then these people were importing that terrain into a computer and then putting it onto a console, and you were basically playing. You can still do it now. You can play like most golf courses, most of the top hundreds, with your little man, and every bump and every hollow is exactly as it is.
Wow!
So you get a good idea of golf courses, and someone made Pennard, and I was like, this can't be true. Like this golf course is insane. Did a bit of Googling, and it's called the Links in the Sky. I was like, okay, that sounds pretty cool. I had a band playing. There's a new venue, like arena venue in Swansea, and they were opening it up. And I was like, okay, cool. And I built a whole golf trip around it. I said to the wife, I was like, I'm going to this, and I'm going to play 2 golf courses either side of it. And Rachel was like, yeah, cool, whatever. And the gig got cancelled, but I still went and played golf. And I played Royal Porth Call, which is like had loads of venues and like loads of like senior opens. And I was like, yeah, this is good. They sanded the greens that day, so I was a bit disappointed. Turned up at Pennard the next morning, and we were supposed to play at 11. And I called them. I was like, mate, any chance I can play earlier? It's in March. I was thinking they might let us out. It's like a Tuesday morning or something. And they said, yeah, if you get here at 8 o'clock, you can get out. I was like, all right, fine. She said you'll be the first out. I was like, yeah, fine. Got there. I was like, this is really weird. Like, it's so eerie. It's like no one here. Can't see anything because it's like mist and everything. And went to pay my green fee, and I hadn't asked how much it was. I just assumed it was going to be a winter green fee. And they're like, that's 50 quid. I was like, what? Like full, like 18 holes? He's like, yeah. He's like, yeah, 50 or 55 quid. I was like, okay.
Per hole.
Yeah. He's like, do you want a course plan? I was like, don't worry, mate. I play the golf course online. I know what I'm doing. Was playing the golf course in complete and utter awe of this place. Like I couldn't get it, and then got absolutely bollocked by a member on the 10th. You basically play downhill, but I just forgot, and all I could see was a fairway up the left. So I whacked it up the left. I basically whacked it up 18, And this member, fuck me, did he go absolutely mental at me? Because I think he thought I was like a member and was taking a piss, because that's out of bounds. And I was like, all right, mate, like, I've never played it before, like, I don't know. And then the bar afterwards, he's like, I won't do the Welsh accent now, but he's like, I'm really sorry. He's like, but basically a lot of the low boys play up the left because it's an easier shot into the green. So like they basically made it out of bounds now from that tee. I was like, right, now I see why you've done it. But that golf course for a long time was in my top 5. And it's an amazing golf course. If you ever get a chance to go and play it, that's like 94 on my list. And I've got there's no reasoning why that is 94, why Walton Heath is further away. I just don't get it. It makes no sense.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah, I look forward to that one. I think that's obviously a planned double trip. I think this friend of ours, he's Welsh, and I think he wants to do that.
Yeah, you got to do it.
I think it's he corrected my pronunciation, so I said Penarth, and he was like, I think it's pronounced Penarth.
Penarth.
And I was
no
like,
D, no D in
okay,
it. No?
yeah, Penarth. I was like, yeah, I was like, I think it's like a th sound almost at the end. I was like,
okay,
sorry.
Right. Cool, that's good. That's good. Again, little extra knowledge. It's good to know. Like we got, here we've got I called it Bow Desert, and it's not called Bow Desert. It's called Bow Desert.
All right, Alex, this has been an absolute pleasure.
Man, so thank you for inviting me. It's nice to just talk about golf.
Brilliant. I just don't get bored of it. I'm turning into a full-on golf ball now, but like this is consuming my life really. But yeah, I mean, we'd love to check in with you in maybe a year or two, something like that as well, and to see how you're getting on.
Yeah, 100%, mate.
Hopefully chipped off a few more places, and definitely if you're on your way through, we'd love to go and play Silith, because I think we'd definitely play that.
Yeah, always up for that for sure.
Lovely.
Yeah, we'll Chris can be our guide.
Nice. Well,
show you the pubs anyway.
That's it. That's we've got to make another list there. Well, I really enjoyed it, and it was it was nice. It's just nice talking to people that want to. And I think it's great, starting a podcast, and I think commitment to doing this. And it's nice you talking about it in a couple of years. I think through COVID, so many people started doing stuff, and I've seen so many people stop doing things now.
Yeah.
And I think like slowly is always the fastest way to get anywhere. I always think so. I think the slower you take and the more time you put into it, I think you'll get there. And I think that's what I'm doing. My Instagram account. I could be doing videos like you say, or trying to like get followers, but all I'm doing is just documenting a journey that I wanted to do. Every now and again, I put an emoji on a golf course's comments, and that's about it. And I think if you love the game and you love what you're trying to do, like doing 10 a year, it's really doable. Like to try and complete it in 10 years.
Totally. Yeah.
Especially when you like
expensive golf courses. That's all.
Yeah, and I think you've got to try and commit to doing 10 a year. And I think if you don't do that, like you will struggle to get to a point. There's people that are doing like in 2 years trying to do 100 in England. I'm like, I don't get the fun in that, because once it's done, it's done. And it's like, what do you go and do next? Whereas 10 years is a massive part of your life that you can go, I devoted 10 years of my life to doing this. I don't know if you want to know this fact, but someone told me that if you wanted to do it at the current rates that it was like when I started, it's 25 grand to play the top, to play all of them, and with travel and with accommodation. And I was like, wow, that's quite a lot of money to to spend.
I said this to Nish the other day. If you get that over 10 years, it's just it's like a membership for a nice course every year, isn't it? Do you know what I mean? And you're getting to go and play the best 100 courses in there.
Definitely, and I think the more you do this, I think you boys will get it. And I started doing it, and I've now been invited into a couple of WhatsApp groups that do that are basically top 100 groups. And at first I was like really honoured, and then I'm in one that I'm like, I sort of want to pull out of because there's so many fucking WhatsApps. And I got put another one, and now I don't converse in there too much. Like if someone wants to come and play county, or if I'm down at Ennidock, like 100%. But I think you do need, the more you do this, the more legitimate you are online, you get invited into those groups, and then all of a sudden it becomes easier to go and play golf courses. It becomes cheaper, and it becomes easier.
Yeah.
And then both of you will end up being a country member somewhere, and then that's when it starts getting fun.
Well, it's funny you say that, actually, because I've joined this Facebook group, and it's like golf reciprocals or something like that, and I've not really been looking at anything. It was only a couple of weeks ago I joined. I thought I'll put it out there, put a little bit of blurb about Reddish Vale, and I just said, look, if anybody's ever passing, just hit me up. I can play most days apart from Wednesday, and with enough notice, I can play a weekend. It's not a problem. I got loads of replies, and actually, I've had a couple of people. One member at Abu Dhabi who had booked that anyway, and he was like, "Hi, I love Reddish Vale. Haven't played there for like 15 years, but I'd love to come and play. I can reciprocate at Abu Dhabi." And that, just one message out there, and there's people just so generous with stuff like
Yeah, they
that.
really are.
He's going to look at, it's a Sunday. He's like, okay, but Sunday's a bit tricky for me, but with enough notice now, I'm going to see if I can come and play with you. I mean, that's great to play that course with a member of that course.
Yeah, and it is different when you play with members. Like I've done, as I say, I've done enough trips now with the boys that aren't members, and we have great fun. Don't get me wrong, but I played Formby in the summer, and that was incredible playing that with a member. And like Wentworth, I've been lucky enough to play that with a member. That's different because it doesn't matter as much you're playing with a member. But like when you go somewhere and you're playing with a member, you get a different experience because you go in as their guest, and just the way they introduce you to everyone in turn is. And like Sunningdale, perfect example. My mate was part of me. He worked at the cricket organisation, ECB, whatever it is, I don't know what it's called. And he was like, and he played there. And we turned up at Sunningdale. He's only been there a couple of years. And he's like, hello, talking to everyone. It's like, fucking hell, Will. Like, you've only been here a couple of years. I thought I was that guy that got to know everyone. He's like, well, yeah, but Andrew Schaus did recommend me. I was like, right, okay, cool. So like, he basically got like the golden handshake straight away. But
nice.
I definitely had a different experience, and he won't mind me saying, like, we played the new first because you have to play the new before the old. Everyone plays the old. I was like, okay, play the old. And then when we came in, I had like the most magical day. And he went, do you fancy going back out for a few holes? I was like, yes, I definitely do. And we went out and played like a little 7-hole loop and came back in. I was like, you just couldn't do that if you're with us, right? Like you can't do that.
Yeah.
So
yeah, exactly.
I think the more you take up these people that get on the membership WhatsApps, the better. I think if you're committing to something like a podcast or a page, I think you get invited in more. So it's definitely worth doing.
Sweet.
Yeah, we just want to document it. Let's be honest. I mean, I'm probably going through my midlife crisis, really trying to do all of it. It's been great learning how.
What a midlife crisis, though, eh?
Yeah,
who needs a Ferrari?
Really, yeah.
I don't think I need to spend I didn't need to spend what I've spent on my microphones, but hey, wife's got to bed, so it's fine. Okay, I can get to say what I want now. But yeah, Alex, absolute pleasure.
Yeah, and you boys, thank you very much for having me. We'll
cheers, mate.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. All right.
Nice one. Take care.
Nice one.
See you,
Sorry, mate.
See you, bud. Next time on the Top 110 Golf Podcast, we speak to somebody who can help us get through those difficult, tough, on the body winter months.